welcome back to another exciting episode of MCM CRIBDS. And I'm showing you guys my house, so let's get it started. Now, we have this little tiny doorway over here that nobody can fit in. I'm going to break it through so that way you guys can see actually what's going on. For some odd reason, there was nothing in this room. It was scary. It didn't have glowstone on the floor, obviously. But this room was super dark. And it just had that little tiny doorway that you would have to actually crawl in here. And it had a plant over here in the corner. And we could never understand why we didn't use this room. No one bothered to go into this room. We just pretty much left it as is in the home. It was kind of weird. So, yeah, like I said, it just a little tiny crawl space. You could crawl into the room, but it was a really big room, which we thought was kind of odd, but, yeah. Now, over this way was a storage area that we just kept, like, a lot of books. There was a lot of trophies that we kept in here. There was actually a lot of trophies that was in this room when we first moved in as well, which was kind of odd as well. You know, two odd things, but whatever. Now, this was the upstairs living room. This was pretty much my sister and I. This was our little living room, you know, where we sat. If we didn't do homework downstairs, they had a nice little view of outside. We had a nice big window. And we would just come over here. There was no TV or anything, just a window and a nice little stereo system, if you will. This was my sister's room over here. This is she moved upstairs from downstairs, and which you guys seen in the other episode. Now, the reason why this was my brother's room originally was because in the bathroom, there was a urinal. Out of all the bathrooms in the home, the bathroom upstairs had a boy's urinal in it and a sink. That was it. There was nothing special. It was just a urinal, a sink, and a mirror. So, he had that room for a while, but like I said, once my other brother came along and he was old enough to have his own room, then my parents moved both of them downstairs. My sister took this room. I'm pretty sure the bathroom was never used after that again unless she used it. Don't laugh. That wasn't funny. I was just joking. Anyway, let me show you guys some more of the house. So we'll close her door. Now, my room I always thought was pretty cool because it blended in with the walls. So it was the same pattern as the wall, and the only reason why you could tell where my bedroom was is because I had this little step that went up, and there was a latch on the door up here in the corner. There was no doorknob, just a latch. So I always called it my secret room. I always thought it was pretty cool. And when you went in, it was a really big room. The walls were slanted, but I couldn't get them to slant in here, but it was my room. And I had windows all the way around. I had this table over here where I would play like chess or checkers with friends. And yes, I played chess. But I had a nice banging sound system, surround sound. Let's see what's on.
Does that make me crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make me
Get it.
crazy? Does that make me crazy?
We broke a window, but we're still gonna keep dancing.
And all the true
Alright, let's fix the window real quick. Can I destroy stuff? Alright, now this over here is, basically this was my craft table where I would do all my artwork. I started doing art when I was really young, that's why I'm still into it. Painting, drawing, you name it. Anyway, nice big bed where no magic happened. Like I said, I was a kid, you know, between the ages of like 8 and 12. Probably younger than that. But yeah. That's my room. And I'm gonna take you guys outside. Show you my rides, not me, nice. Alright, so when you came downstairs, actually, I'm not gonna show you guys outside yet. You can go outside, and then we had it to where you could go straight down the stairs into the basement. Now in the basement, we had this first room that had a washer and a dryer. And then we had a bunch of sinks along the wall for some reason. And then there was a shower on this side next to the sinks. Let's turn the shower on. Anybody want to wash up a bit? Alright, let's turn it off. But a shower on one side, and then we had a toilet on the other side. And there was nothing else special in this room. And then the next room, we didn't put anything in here. It was like, maybe it's more like a hallway, but it was really a room. And then attached to that was another room, another 2 rooms, another 2 or 3 rooms. And this is where we had our dogs. Basically, we grew up with Rottweilers. We had 3 really big Rots, and when they weren't outside or we didn't have them upstairs with us, this is where they came. Let's bring a puppy with us. So this was kind of their little area. It had doors on it, so if we wanted them to stay in there, you know, we could just close the doors. And then all the other doorways didn't have any doors. They were just open areas. But this room that I'm in right now was actually another little playroom, I guess you can call it. We had a stereo down here. We came down here every once in a blue moon. No one really came down into this room because when you were downstairs, you couldn't hear anything upstairs at all. And so we just stayed off from down here. Now, this other big room, there was absolutely nothing in it. My parents didn't decide on what to put in it, so it just stayed empty. All we had in here was this one light right here in the middle. And we would, as children, my sister, my brother, myself, we would keep the light off, and then we would dare each other to see who could come into this room, basically, and stay in here the longest in the dark. And the dog just scared me. Anyway, stay in here the longest. I mean, there was nothing in the room, but just as kids, you know, something dark and that as big as the room was kind of scary. And we would just do that. But other than that, we would just come down here with like basketballs and footballs and throw them or kick them against the wall. I mean, there were no windows, so it wasn't like we could break anything. So this was just kind of the room that we came to every once in a blue moon. Now, this back room, however, was used a lot. This originally was supposed to be the storage area. Let me turn some lights on down here so you guys can see. Kind of dark. There we go. Alright, so basically it was a storage area, and then there was this really big table right in the middle of the room. My father used to be into the game Dungeons and Dragons. For those of you who are truly old school nerds, you know what that is. And he made these massive worlds that he built literally from the ground up, and they were on this table. Like these fields and just different animated parts and these little painted figurines. And he allowed my sister and I to do that. I mean, we were only like 8, I think. I was 8 or 9, so she's 2 years younger than me. And he would let us paint little figurines. Of course, we weren't very good at it. But then he taught us how to play the game, you know, rolling the dice. And it was just it was that father-daughter time that we got a chance to spend with him. And we had a blast. You know, when he didn't have his friends down here, he allowed us to be down here, and actually he would teach us how to play. So that was just a little something that we got a chance to do with him every once in a blue moon. And it wasn't bad. I mean, like I said, it was the first time I was introduced. I don't know if I'd play the game now, but back then it was fun. Alright, so we're heading outside, and I'm gonna give you guys a little story about this cement block that's right here. But this right here, originally it was going to be a swimming pool, and we changed our mind, and my parents turned it into like a little pond area or whatever. Now it's a good thing they changed their mind, because this right here, there was this big cement slab that was over the top of it. No one ever knew what it was, and there goes the dog. What'd you say, boy? Timmy fell down the well. Oh no. Can you get him while you're down there? I don't know. Alright, he's swimming, he's alright. But anyway, there was this big cement slab over this area, and it was really heavy. And, you know, kids being kids, one day my sister and I decided we took maybe a good 15 minutes trying to move this slab, because we were kicking rocks through the little cracks, and we could hear water. We could hear, you know, like the sound the dog is making now. We could hear that. So we got curious, we moved the slab, and once we pushed it out of the way, there was a good 10 to 15 foot drop. And all you could see was water in the bottom. It was the craziest thing, and I just fell in the water. And I was like, oh, there's alligators down there. Not sure why I yelled that. But as a kid, you say stupid stuff, and that's what happened. So then we got even bigger rocks that we found. We even went into the little alleyway and found little rocks. We were chucking it down there. And during that time, back here in the window, we heard a tapping, and it was my mother, and she did not look too happy. So we kind of stepped back. She came flying out of the house, and she's like, "What is that? Oh my God, you guys could have fell to your death! Rah, 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 rah!" You know how parents do. And we were, we all held our head in shame. And then my mother got my father to get somebody to cover it up professionally or something. And basically what we found out is this was an actual historical well that went down, and basically it tunneled into different areas of Springfield where we stayed. So that was a pretty cool little piece of history that we had in the backyard as well. So yeah. On to the next part. Now, we had trees over here. We didn't plant any of these trees. This is what the crazy thing was. We had blueberry trees, we had raspberry trees, we had walnut trees, we had some other type of little red berry. It wasn't cherry, it was some type of red berry. That all grew over here, and actually along the side of the house as well. That all these wonderful little fruits grew on, and we would come out and pick them and then take them in the house and wash them and eat them. So that was a little fun thing we got a chance to do growing up. Now into the garage. The garage was nothing special. We had the storage areas. My dad kept his tools out here. And then we had a really big van. Nothing special about the van. It's a family, so we had a really big van, a big blue van. My brother had a four-wheeler that was always parked outside. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he rode it that much. And then my sister and I had matching bikes. Mine was blue, obviously, and hers was purple. And then across the way was a carriage house. Way back when, they used to build carriage houses. They used to keep like the stables and all that other good stuff in this area. I'm really not going to go into detail of what it was. I never really went upstairs because I was afraid of heights and I didn't want to go up there. But basically upstairs, it was just a storage area. There was a bunch of stuff up there. There was some hay up there. And then downstairs, there was a bunch of storage. It was a really big doorway. There was never a door on this area. We didn't even use this area. It just pretty much sat over there by itself. So I showed you guys my house, my pond, my well, and you got a chance to see all my lives. But now, it's time for you guys to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later. Wait, what are you still doing here? Get out of here. Get out of my house. Thank you guys so much for watching.